This is ridiculous. I do this every day now. It's kind of good, isn't it, though? I mean, probably. I guess I should probably turn off this so there's not a horrible echo. Yeah. Burn and learn, more exercise. Lucky me, because now I get my big, giant, steaming cup of coffee. That's really hot. Oh. So yeah, burn and learn, folks. This is my bid to stay alive and fit long enough to, enjoy the retirement years of my fabulous son and my brilliant, amazing, beautiful wife, Jane, our menagerie of pets. Very happy gecko last night, I might add. The mystery, the gecko of mystery was out and about yesterday, leaping about, eating out of my hand, that kind of stuff. Hello, Liam and Crimson and Geek Mind and Nixie. How are you, Nixie? It's been a rare sunny day here in England. Well, we got your gloom because it's pretty gloomy here. Sorry, the usual apologies. I've got the iPhone, not iPhone. I got the Google phone going here for the stream. I've got my chat over here because I'm old and I'm blind and I can't see nothing. So I'm putting it on the screen so I can actually see what people are saying. All this stuff gets me. I just feel like, not working for me. Let's see what we got going on here. Brimstoner, how are you? Mini Rockhopper and Camshaft and David Sams and Highlight, High Sky and Ivan. And how can you tell a gecko is happy? I go by the color. I feel like it seems to change color when there's stuff going on, when it's sort of hopping about. It seems more sort of a darker green color, and when it's sort of like being very still and trying not to be seen, it seems like it's a lighter color, but I could be getting that wrong. Who knows? Michigan changes every minute. Foggy, rainy, starting to be windy and snowy. Yeah, they built a giant crane at the end of my street. It's pretty wild. Watching them build it was kind of cool, actually. I know I should really be like, not in my backyard, and it's noisy and all the rest of it, but the reality is you live in a city, whatever. It was just kind of neat to watch this thing get built, and then all the groundwork they had to do to get it to work. And it's I have a feeling it's going to be like a modular building. So I think they're gonna start dropping in blocks of these. It's really cool, actually. It's the way they build these things is kind of amazing. I hope I'm back in Stargate too, David Sams. I very much would like to be back in Stargate. I was saying maybe, I make a really good breakfast sandwich, so maybe I could be there for crafty or something. I'm trying to back up my friend's iPhone pictures, and it's an absolute nightmare. USB port problem, LOL. Hope your day is going better. The iPhone stuff is difficult. I've had a lot of problems. Depends also on the phone. They get too old. They get a little bit dodgy. Check the cable. It's usually cables. I mean, Apple is usually pretty good with the way they make these things work. They're sort of like stupidly intuitive, and then or they're so you're trying to do complicated things, and it actually turns out to be very simple. Last resort, honestly, you just plug it in and leave it to do the wireless thing. That works as well. It just takes for freaking ever. Bjorn, how are you? Get off my lawn, Sky. We've actually had sun today. Yeah, it's pretty wild, isn't it? That's I think it's a little sad that everyone from the UK is mentioning the sun. That's you guys are obviously not getting enough of it. Good evening, watching SGU episode Satita. And that's actually SGA, I believe, Satita. An arrow in the butt. How are you today? Well, I'm sitting, Natasha. At least, it's that did not happen. Good morning, Mikael. Good morning, Damien. Wood clerk, huh? You haven't been here in a while. Weren't you banished to the garage last time I saw you? Yes, it's true, Wood clerk. I was in the garage. The garage became somewhat uninhabitable. There's also now, not only are my nieces in the basement, in their little basement apartment, they are, I have to clarify that. It sounds like I got my nieces kidnapped in the basement. But they've also got a car, so their car's in the garage now. So basically, I forced Jane out. Poor Jane. I suggested that the ladies come and live with us, and then I forced her out of her office, and I take it over, and just every so often she comes in and just she can't. It's like it's too much for her. There's too many things to tidy up and organize, and her little brain. It's not a little brain. Her giant brain is just overstimulated by it. I thrive on chaos. I can't find anything, but Joshua Millhouse, greetings to the Park Country, Indiana. My daughter Tessa just finished Atlantis series again. Good for her, Anthony. I'm sure that she enjoyed my performance every single time through. So glad you're well. Exercise obviously suits you. I don't know about that. Hannibal Lecter would be proud, wouldn't he? So yeah, this is a Burn&Learn. I should be talking about so 30 minutes again, a little bit over 30 today. It was a little slower today, but I did my my 6.5 kilometers on the torture device, which is a rowing machine. And erg has concept 2 legs to call it. Erg, which is kind of what it sounds like when I'm doing it. So this is why I'm a disgusting, sweaty mess, and I don't understand why everyone's here listening to me. To be honest, this is my reward for doing the exercise, right? I get to sit here and babble, but unfortunately, you have to look at this great sweaty beast that used to be on Stargate. And would like to be again. I will say a lot of people ask that question, and over the years, over the 20-something years, a lot of people have said, if it came back, would you do it again? And I've always said, damn straight. I love that McKay guy. He was a lot of fun. Not for everyone else, but he was certainly fun for me. Time to get it together. The call must be coming. Oh yeah, any second now. That's I'm in training for that. No, if I was playing McKay again, I would stop exercising and just start eating more, because I guarantee you, 20 years later, that guy is not going to be a rake. Anyways, yeah. So what was the learn part of the Burn&Learn today? Today, back to the This Week in Tech. Sort of catching up on a bunch of older ones, and just again, they talked about this. The $16 billion that is going towards Meta's scam ads. Basically, they make so much money off it. They make like 10% of their income is scam ads. They know they're scams. They charge them more because they're scams, and it's to the tune of 16 million. And it's basically 16 billion, 16 million. That's going to be quite a difference. I can't remember now. I think it might be billion. Could it be? I mean, it might be, I suppose. Someone's gonna have to check that out for me if they don't mind. Have a look, looking for Meta's scam ads. And it was something ridiculous, like 54% of scams on the internet were perpetrated through a Meta product of some sort, or Facebook or something. I mean, it's pretty insane. I bet we won't have the new season until like 2028, 2027, if we're just incredibly lucky. If they go to, I mean, these things, they basically take a year. So I think once they've got a system in place, they can probably spit them out a little faster, maybe. But it's usually about that. Again, it really depends on what they're doing and how much effects there are and all that kind of stuff. So I would assume if we start shooting, I like that I've added, made it we. I like that I've just decided I'm going to be no. But if the shooting begins sometime in early 2026, yeah, you're probably looking at 2027 before there's anything being aired. But what do I know? I know nothing. And seriously, if I knew something, I'd tell you. I can't tell you anything. I would say that I don't. So I really people know me. I've done this a million times. If there's something I can't tell you, I will say I cannot. I'm doing this and I can't tell you. Like The Boys, I'm working on this Boys, this Boys spinoff show. I couldn't say anything about that until they'd announced it. And even then, I can't tell you what it's about or what I'm doing. All the crazy things I'm doing. Oh my God, don't even start. And I can't tell you. See, there you go. That's a perfect example of it right there. They're on Prime. There you go. Maybe they'll be maybe Stargate will be in the studio next to The Boys, and I can just wander over and just say hi and maybe have a sandwich or two. We were worried about AI bringing Skynet, and we got AI slop instead. What's worse? Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I think there was one of the other things that came up in the weirdly prescient of you there. One of the things they were talking about was this Disney promise to have AI being used with their products, right? So they've seen all of the Star Wars stuff that people are doing, all of the Disney princesses and the dragons and and whatever, they've got so many different characters and properties, as they like to call them, that have been just, used willy-nilly throughout the interwebs on various different AIs. If they now lock that down, but make it available to people on their own platform, I see very much an AI an AI, a Disney AI that allows you to make yourself look like a princess and put yourself in a musical, or let you turn a video into a Disney animation, or put yourself in Star Wars or any of that kind of stuff. I mean, I feel like eventually we could end up in a world where we're making movies for one, where you literally sit down and say to your media device that you want to see, you want to see Star Wars set in, no, you want to see Star Trek set in the Star Wars world with Han Solo as Picard and the Wraith from Stargate. And the storyline should be, whatever, uplifting or depressing, or it should have a cliffhanger or whatever. And then eventually you get exactly the movie you want that night. I think it'll take away, I think there's definitely gonna be people who are gonna want to do that for sure. I would play with it for sure. But I'm not sure that that's the way that they're going to go with all of their stuff. But the idea that, I might say like eventually, but right now it seems to me like the smartest thing these companies can do is like lock down all of the characters and IPs that they have, and then basically allow people to go on and make their own little social media posts with them. So, and I've said this before, there was a huge strike where actors battling for their rights against AI and everything like that. I think it was an absolute disaster, because the reality is all of those unemployed actors went onto the freaking social media platforms to voice their concerns and to start podcasts and do all this kind of stuff, just like I've always been doing. I mean, I freaking love the internet. Have been there since you could get access to it on Toronto. I was in Toronto. I was there. I mean, as soon as the ridiculously priced internet was available, I was dialing it up. I freaking loved it. And so I think that, again, you've got to consider there's still only 24 hours in the day, right? So that's 24 hours of possible content for people. And I know for a fact that most people under the age of 30 are probably flipping through various different social platforms for most of their time. That eats a lot into any shows that they'd be watching, or telenovelas that they'd be watching, or soap operas, or any of that kind of stuff. I mean, it just destroys the concept of live television. And other than sports is of course very, very valuable now, because it is day and date specific. It's got to be live, and it's pretty well useless after it's live. So I think it's a really interesting thing that Disney's doing. I'm not sure, again, that I like it from a creative standpoint, but looking at some of the movies coming out of these studios, they might as well be written by AI and animated by them in some cases. So I just think that if I was a big studio, if I want to be really jaded about the film industry right now, the reason why I'm very, very sort of down on the way it's going is movies aren't worth anything anymore. They cost a lot of money to make still, but they're still not really worth much. I mean, you can make cheap films, but trying to get them seen by people is almost impossible, unless you've got like big names attached, or, in our case with Dog's Breakfast, we were very lucky because I was on Stargate at the time that I could sort of cross promote it. And, so there are obviously always, there are going to be exceptions, but the reality is films aren't worth what they used to be worth. Once you've got AI making these films, you don't know whether it's Disney making them or some guy in the basement. I mean, obviously there's going to be a level of quality based on the kind of tech that you've got, but the fact that this stuff there's going to be so much more content. I mean, I find myself, I will go to, I'm no longer, I used to subscribe to Midjourney. I was using Midjourney a lot. I've now canceled that because honestly, I feel like Gemini does a lot of the stuff I need, the Nano Banana and stuff. So, and also in a weird way, I'm trying to sort of, I'm not saying I'm trying not to use strictly AI stuff. Like I want to Photoshop my own stuff together for titles and stuff. Like today, we've got a great chat with Thomas on Thursday, which is about the Plato mission, which is really, I cannot freaking wait. I've been doing some research on it. Again, doing some research using Notebook LM. I've got pages and pages and pages of potential papers to read. That Thomas was kind enough to send over. I am going to be able to understand maybe the brief a piece at the beginning that just gives you a summary of what's going on there. I can get through that and usually understand some of it. I still have to look things up because, I mean, again, it's all areas of expertise that I, of course, don't have, though I may have played them on television. So using Notebook LM, I can go through a lot more of them, and I can get a sense, an overall sense of stuff, so I can sort of make more sense of the conversation we'll have on Thursday, and sort of guide things and specify things that I want to know more about and all that kind of stuff. So it's an amazing tool for me for that. But when I go to Midjourney, I've started flicking over to what's new, and you could sort of scroll through all of these millions of different AI creations, and you can curate them by looking for, specifically looking for different things that you're looking for, whether it's like, hacker stuff, or raccoons are big for me because I do the raccoon logo for my Tech Bandit stuff. Hello, Tech Bandits. That reminds me, I should drink some coffee. That stuff's that's sort of part of my branding, right? And I wouldn't, I was very, very lucky that my fabulous friend Jack Jasris did my logo for me, right? I'd done my own little logo, and he did his professional take on it. It's fantastic, But I can feed in raccoon stuff and have all sorts of variations on that theme and stuff for my Tech Bandits, and it's kind of fun to do. I like doing little sort of stop motion looking ones, like Fantastic Mr. Fox type stuff. I don't know why I always like the Wombles, that kind of thing. I like that kind of look, so I played with some of that stuff. But again, I'm finding that I like it to create elements, and then I can put those elements together into something that is actually specifically what I want, rather than just sort of this almost, I call it sort of opportunistic AI, where you get it to generate a bunch of stuff, and then you just pick what looks better from the AI perspective rather than what's better for your story or what you're trying to do with it. And I think there's a tendency that people get, as always, enamored with the tool and forget that there's, they lose track of what the reason for that tool is. I mean, you shouldn't be changing the aesthetics of your vision because that's what AI is able to give you. That, if it's it's like, that's pretty close. I feel like there's a real problem with pretty close, because filmmaking is about getting your vision across to people the way as closely as you can to what you want it to be, and there's enough stuff in the way already, trust me, making films, that it gets in the way of that. So I think you've got to be sort of careful with how this stuff comes into play. But the reality is, I could spend hours looking through those AI creations of other people. It's just interesting to see what they're doing, and some of the stuff's just beautiful. Some is ridiculous, some it's funny. I mean, like, it's slop, but it's the same kind of it's the same kind of human slop. I mean, the amount of stuff that I would much rather be looking through that than Twitter right now, because Twitter just goes for outrage every time. It's robberies, it's carjackings, it's people doing inappropriate things. It's all, for me, just videos of people being bad to other people, or selling fear and selling hatred, and it really bothers me. I mean, and I think that's probably, it's definitely worse on Twitter, but even Instagram, I find I get sucked into stuff, and I'm just like, why am I doing this? Why am I researching, a tile cutting device that I don't need? You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like there is so much slop out there anyways. The AI stuff is just going to add even more to it. And I think eventually we'll get to a point where we don't know what's AI and what's human, right? I mean, and then at that point you go, well, what does it matter? I'm a tech optimist. I've always felt like technology was the solution to everything. I'm now, I still believe that. I still believe that. But I think part of the problem is we now need to get the institutions to allow that to happen, or to even potentially sort of push things towards, I think the finger needs to be on the scale. I think the government needs to step in and not take control, but I think it needs to support stuff. I think we need to, the government should be pouring money into research in all sorts of science and technology, the side of things. And I know they do to some extent, but I mean, there needs to be even more of that, and medical breakthroughs, and this is stuff that there's going to be stuff that isn't going to make people money, but it is going to make the world a better place. And I think that's where the government step. That's where the government should be. It should be in the early phase stuff. I mean, instead of just crazy billionaires who've got the money to burn, I feel like the government should be investing in potential improvements for our life and for people's lives, and those can be giant social things. They can be AI things. They can be space things. I mean, I'm not saying they should have an exclusive hold on this stuff, but I just think that we need to start having, we're waiting for the government to decide on what our future should be with this AI stuff, or corporations, and the corporations are proving themselves to be completely the wrong people for this stuff, I think, in a lot of regards. Again, saying it says someone who loves the technology and uses it all the time. So, but the AI Disney thing is, think about the amount of hours of quote unquote entertainment that is going to provide people, and where those hours come from. They come from the 24 hours we have, which means there's even less time for television. There's even less time for films. There's less time for art and podcasts and all these kind of things. I mean, podcasts are a little different because I guess you can throw them on in your headset and listen to them while you're walking. But there you go. But then that cuts into the time that you would have been spent listening to radio or listening to music, or I just think that this is, and again, I'm not saying we shouldn't do it, that it shouldn't happen. I think it should happen. I think it is happening. But I think it's foolish for us to think that movies can still cost quarters of $1 billion, that actors make such ridiculous amounts of money to be in them, that writers and directors and studios are so freaking expensive to run. I feel like you got to go like, well, wait a second. If people only pay $5 for something, if you only pay $5 for or let's say it's more than that, it's $25 for a movie. You pay $25 for a movie, but I don't want to go to a theater for that. I'll see it at home. And then now you've got everyone at home who would have paid $25 to go to the theater, or wasn't in the case. Now they're all watching it for $25 at home, if they're not pirating it. I mean, this was the situation we had with Napster and the whole idea of pirating music. I just, when it is easier to pirate it than it is to buy it, people are going to pirate it. I mean, the problem is not a piracy issue. The problem is a friction issue for society. Right now, it is easier to just subscribe to frickin' Spotify or Apple Music or Google Music or whatever, and then you get it all. And it's like, whatever. I don't have to go hunting for stuff. I know it's there for the most part, or it's not. I mean, that's another whole issue. But but basically, Spotify. I don't think there's a song I've ever looked up that isn't there. And yeah, you pay through the nose for it to some extent, but it's a lot cheaper than buying DVDs or CDs from ages ago. I know we don't own them. We didn't own them either, apparently. So the point being is, there is no friction there. It is so easy for me to legally listen to all of the music and the podcasts and all that kind of stuff that I want. Audible, same thing. I could go hunting around looking for stolen versions of Audible books and stuff. And you used to have to, basically, because otherwise you'd be buying DVDs or CDs or tapes even. I go back quite a ways, 8 tracks. So I think that's the issue with the movie industry right now. Is it is easier to find a movie you want to watch on an illegal service than it is to freaking find it on the right. All of the platforms want a subscription. All of the platforms have a limited amount of things that they can show you. How the hell do you expect people to subscribe to all of them? It's impossible. It is impossible. I'm a pretty well-off middle-class guy who makes a pretty good living in the industry he loves, and is worried about it. And the reality is, I can't afford to have all of these subscriptions. I mean, look at me. I've got a freaking Patreon, so I can get subscriptions to the science journals and stuff that I want to read, or the programs I want to try out, or you know what I mean. Like that's like I'm going to the internet to try to find help with that, because frankly I know I can't afford to be doing that myself. I also know that I'm putting out hours and hours of content myself every week, because I'm obviously an egotistical little actor who likes to get sweaty and talk to people for some, I don't know why, but that's, for some reason, it helps me with my exercise, and it's keeping me honest on the exercise. The reality is, when I when I don't post, I generally haven't exercised. There's the odd time I will have to exercise and run, so I don't have time to do this. But if there's time in the day, I'll do the exercise and I'll talk to you. So that's the. But again, I also know that this is hours that taken away from entertainment. I would say, probably not good entertainment, because the good entertainment you're going to seek out yourself anyway. So anyway, so that was, again, this is the learn part of the Burn and Learn for me, was just like listening to people talking about how, whether this is a good thing, whether this is a bad thing. Is AI content a good thing or a bad thing? Well, I would say that's like saying, is computer generated effects a good thing or a bad thing? Is the fact that anyone can write a book a good thing and a bad thing? It's both. It's always going to be both. It's bad, it's good. It's going to be really good at making really bad content, but it's also probably going to be really good at making, addictive, silly content that if you're not thinking about, it's on in the background, and you can enjoy it as a backdrop of, weird entertainment. I'm sure it will appeal. I mean, look at some of the animation we grew up with. I mean, some of that, some of it was clever and edgy and all the rest of it, but a lot of it was just, was just basically made as cheaply as possible to sell a bunch of toys. I mean, so I just think it's a tool that is going to be used and misused. And I'm fascinated to see how it works out. But I do think that there's a real problem here if we think that it's going to solve everything. Because this is the same issue we had with the internet, where they thought that the internet was going to, you put, .com at the end of freaking any business name, and that was your ticket to money when the internet first started. Now you put AI at the end of everything, and everyone thinks that's the way to go. I mean, I kind of remember what the one before was. Oh, I guess you got Bitcoin. There you go. You put what do you call blockchain? You put blockchain at the end of anything. That was for a while there. That was the whole thing. I mean, that's it, right? What do we got? Wait a sec. I was happy when I saw that you are on YouTube, like childishly so. Well, good, because basically you're talking to a child. I never grew up. Do a 10K day. Oh my God, 10K. How long would I have to go for 10K? So I probably have to go. That's basically, I don't think I could do an hour at the rate that I'm doing now, but maybe an hour. I don't know, man. I worry about, I definitely worry about hurting myself, because it's happened before where oh, my knee hurts. I can't exercise. I'm going to go eat a burger. You know what I mean? Like I've never been good with the weight thing. I don't, I was a scrawny kid growing up. Never had to do anything. Ate like a pig and looked like a swallow. Looked like a little bird-like thing. And then of course, when you get older, you start going like, oh, well, that's weird. I feel puffy. It's like, that's not puffy, that's fat. And then, if you haven't established an exercise regime as a younger man, as an older man, it is so much harder to do. And I keep trying to mention to Baz, start your exercise now, get in the habit of it now, because it's just going to be so much easier later on. I've been trying to start I'm like, I when I was in LA, I used to do a lot of Taekwondo stuff. I loved Taekwondo, not fighting, but I love the forms. I'd like to go back to some forms, actually. That'd be fun. Maybe they'll do Tai Chi. Maybe I'm old enough to do Tai Chi now. Is Tai Chi exercise, though? It's not really, is it? I mean, I think I'd have to do that as well as the rowing. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of work. I think I just talked myself out of that. Joseph, you're trying to get back into shape too? What are you doing, Joseph? What's your plan? I'm not even worrying about food right now. Like, I literally will eat whatever the hell I want, as much as I want. And right now my focus is only on exercise. If I can get myself into the habit of regular exercise, I feel like, even just the little exercises I'm doing now sort of informs what I eat. I mean, I definitely don't feel like I overeat. I always overeat, but I feel like I've got, I feel like a salad every so often, and then I put meat on it or something. But I feel like it does affect how you want to eat as well. I was considering the Ozempic thing, because I thought, well, look, I'm overweight. I'm going to get diabetes. It's in my family. We have sort of age onset. Excuse me. We have age onset diabetes. So it's probably good for me to not be fat. But I don't. Again, I don't know. I don't know whether that's. Has anyone done that? By the way, has anyone done that? Calorie reduction is probably the best way to lose weight, but boy, do I not want to count calories. Yeah, Justice for All. The most success I had with that, I tried to lose a lot. I did lose a lot of weight before Debug, because originally it was going to be a very low budget film. I was going to be the Jason Momoa evil character, and and that was going to be just sort of part of the way we would shoot it. We would get big names for the other characters, and then I could play the evil AI. It's obviously not the way it went, but I lost a lot of weight, and the way I did that was through regular exercise and basically portion control. I used a little app that tracked what I ate. Well, I had to diary. It was a diary. And I just got sort of obsessed. I sort of gamified it. So I sort of went like, okay, how many calories do I have? I want to, and then you could, what was it called? It's MyFitnessPal. It's called MyFitnessPal. It's all now subscription again. So I just don't want another subscription. I actually wondered about working with AI to build a little app for myself, just like a little free app that could do what I wanted it to do. The thing that was nice about MyFitnessPal was that it had just about everything in its database. So you could go out for dinner, and then just before you ordered, you could go like, I wonder what the better one to have. And then the fact that you're tracking it, the fact that you're forced to go, that's how many, I don't need that. Or I only need half of that or whatever. That made a huge, huge difference. And I lost a lot of weight. Not quickly. It was not a quick process. It was a very slow, it took about a year or so, I think, to get down to 100 and I think I was like just around the late 70s into the 80s and I'm normally I'm normally well over 210. So that was a considerable drop for me. I know it's different. I used an app to quit smoking. It's incredible how much it helped. Look, Tyler, I don't think that is I think that's exactly the way you do stuff, is any way you can. For me, quitting smoking was both the easiest and the hardest thing ever. The biggest thing for me was that first week. And then I am so obsessive that I was like, no. I'm not. And the only way I could think of it, and I think this is probably, I don't know, I never did a Alcoholics Anonymous or anything, but apparently they have the same kind of system where it's basically, I just have to get through today without a cigarette. So you go to a party, you're like, I'm just not gonna have a cigarette at this party. And you get home, you're like, I'm just not gonna have a cigarette when I get home. And then hey, look, I got through another day. If you then have a bad day where you do stumble and you do have a cigarette, your brain tries to go, or your addiction goes, oh, you're smoking again. Oh my God, go buy a pack of cigarettes. Right? I mean, your response, and that had always been the stumbling point for me. When I go like, oh my God, I can only make it like 3 or 4 days, and then I screw up and have a drink, and next thing you know, I'm smoking again. I'm like, okay, you smoked last night. That doesn't mean you pick up a cigarette the next morning. Again, today, just today. That was what got me through quitting smoking. And I am the most ridiculously addictive personality when it comes to things like cigarettes. I would put a cigarette down on the edge of my sink while I brushed my teeth in the morning. It was the first thing I did in the morning. It was the last thing I did at night. I smoked, at one point I was smoking over 2 packs a day. And you're talking to an asthmatic with respiratory issues. I mean, I'm an idiot. I don't know what I was doing. I thought I was so cool. But the only way to quit for me was just to go like, I'm not smoking today. The thought of if I go like, I am never, ever smoking a cigarette ever in my life, ever again. It sort of makes me, I feel a little panicky. Like, it's like, I'll never do that. I'll never be able to do that. Ah, screw it. Let me go buy a smoke. Not as much now, obviously, but and in fact, cigarettes now, I feel like the response now, it's almost a repulsion now. Baz came back from something the other day and his clothes smelled of cigarette smoke. And I was like, oh God, like I'm sort of hypersensitive to it now. you know, yeah. So it makes a big difference. That was the only way I could do it. And I think probably if I was to go back to trying to lose weight, it's just, again, it's the day, right? Like you just have the everyday. The problem with food is it's not like alcohol or cigarettes or candy or things that you could just cut out of your life. Like you can't just cut food out of your life, right? You can cut cigarettes out, you can cut alcohol, you can cut drugs, you can cut all those things you can not have in your life. And it's an easy binary on or off type thing. You're either this or that. But food is a complicated thing. And the Hewletts definitely have a complicated relationship with food as it is anyways. But that's one where moderation is the key. And like I say, I'm not so good at moderation. I'm just not good at it. I think it's probably also just the way your brain is wired. I tend to be, there is before, and then there is now, and then there's basically the future somewhere. So it's very easy for me to go like, well, why would I have a bowl of chocolate Cheerios with cream on top of it last thing before I go to bed? That's because I want that now. I don't think, and the next morning you're going to wake up and you're going to feel like crap, and you're going to be like, you're going to be putting on pounds by the second. So, I didn't blow the whole galaxy, Roman. It was 3/4. When I tried to smoke after I had given up, it made me feel sick and dizzy, stopped immediately. Yeah, that helps, Joan. That helps. It's weird to think that we felt sick and dizzy when we first smoked, but we thought, we'll overcome that. You know what I mean? We'll get past this so we can really get addicted to it. It's just so funny. And it's just interested. That's interesting. So Quentin, I've started Wegovy, and it seems to take away food noise so far. That's interesting. Okay. Hormones play a part in weight loss. Hormones change so much as you go through life. I adjusted my hormone levels. That was very helpful for me in my journey. Cheers to where you're at. Thank you, Deanna. That's very nice. Thank you. 5'6", whatever. Why do you even have that in your house? Of course, once it's in your house, you will eat it. Well, here's the problem, Elizabeth. I'm not the only person who lives in my house. I got the twins. I got Jane. I got Baz. I got guests. These things show up. These delicious things just show up. Vaping is the less evil, I suppose. I don't know, Jake. I'm not sure about that at all. I mean, the reality is there's a lot of issues with that too, because you're still inhaling stuff into your lungs, and what's in that? I mean, what's in it? And also, we're not designed really we're designed to process small amounts of contaminants that are going to go into our lungs, but to actually be sucking that stuff back, it's probably not good. I'm very nervous about vapes. Vapes seem to make it easy and delicious. They seem to add. I mean, here's the problem with vapes is that they're like candy. Like, I mean, I smell them. I'm like, what's that? It's like cotton candy. Well, that's someone smoking their vape, or that's this or that. I mean, like, I just think that adds a whole other element to the addictive side of this stuff. So you throw in a little bit of nicotine, you give itself a nice candy taste, and like, like, to me, that's like, let's just get kids addicted to this too. And we know these companies have been here before. I mean, I don't know how many cigarette companies are actually owners and developers of the vape stuff, but that seems like a pretty obvious jump for these companies. And I just, again, it's marvelous. I marvel at the fact that in this world, we're being told that, TikTok is evil, that we should get rid of that social media is destroying our children, and we need to get that off. We need to get them offline for that. And all of which is not untrue. It's all true. But we have people smoking carcinogens in our presence. We have people consuming alcohol, which, again, I'm on and off the alcohol. I go, like, I mean, I don't drink a lot anymore, but I do like the odd glass of wine or beer every so often now. I was completely off it. I shouldn't be having any, because the reality is it is a known carcinogen now. Like, it's literally cancer causing in the way that cigarettes are cancer causing, not the same way, but in a different way. But we have this, like, yeah, it's that weird kind of, I have that weird, God, I was using the term before. I really, really liked it. This cognitive dissonance, this idea that I know the what it's a glass of cancer, but it's a delicious glass of cancer that I worry about the cancer later. I get the glass now. So yeah, I mean, it's again, these are things where I feel like the government needs to step in. I'm very worried about, that freaking RFK guy. I don't even, I mean, vaccines could cause alien encounters. They could. Like, you can't prove that they don't. Cancer keeps elephants away. Well, do you have elephants when like, it's not causation, right? There's a difference between causation and what is the other one? It's causation and I'm going to sip my coffee and try to remember. I'm going to drink my coffee. Yes, it's that difference between correlation and causation. Who got it? Someone got it in there. I saw it pop up. Otterdeut. Yeah. So correlation, causation is always being mistaken, and by people who do pseudoscience bullshit. And I'm so disappointed in our current administration for its lack of interest in real science, real scientists, and reality for that matter. So yeah, correlation. That's it. Everyone's got it. Look at that. There's a correlation. Yes, I got on a diet, DP, to help. I don't know what DP is. To help me get off DP. Now I'm addicted to diet. Oh, Dr. Pepper. I got on Diet Dr. Pepper to help me get off Dr. Pepper. Now I'm addicted to Diet Dr. Pepper. Didn't see that coming. That's funny. I love the Diet Dr. Pepper. I got to say, Diet Dr. Pepper is my favorite of the diet drinks. I don't really like diet drinks. It's not that I don't like the idea of it being diet. I don't like the idea of it tasting that. It's a weird sort of that fake thing. I'm not disappointed because this is what they said they'd do. Well, this is what we knew they would do. No, he said, RFK said he wasn't going to touch the vaccination stuff, but whatever. If you eat yogurt once a week in North America, it prevents being killed by an elephant in North America. Wow. DC Blanc, I got to get on that. Notice I said yogurt. We used to laugh at me about that. So apparently it's yogurt, but I always said yogurt, and I'm going to stick to it. Hi, greetings from Tokyo. Tokyo. Well, hello, greetings right back to you, Mega Zombie. Please look into the keto diet. I lost over 100. Well, so keto was basically what I was doing. Yeah, keto was kind of what I was doing for a lot of that. Sorry, it wasn't full keto, but it was definitely trying to cut out most of the carbs and the sugar and that kind of stuff. So it isn't just the calories, it's what is in those calories for sure. I just found with keto, I felt lightheaded, and I hated my breath. And it didn't feel healthy, if that makes sense. Now, that said, I eat a lot of bread. I love me my bread and toast. And pizza and panzerotto and anything that has bread on it that involves like a pie. So I do like my bread, but I definitely feel as I've got older that I'm not as good at processing that. Like I feel sort of puffy and so that kind of stuff is definitely a part of it. Isn't keto just rebranded Atkins? Yeah, basically, which seems unhealthy. Yeah, the Atkins diet, that's so funny. Didn't his wife shoot him or something? Wasn't he murdered by his wife or something? He was probably just really hungry because she was only eating the diet thing. Keto is good, but you got to be careful with your carb intake. Whenever you stop, your body will want to hoard all that as fat, which is why so many people balloon after a keto diet. Oh, that's interesting. Who came up with the idea that Rodney should be afraid and deathly allergic to citrus fruits? Oh, we've been here before, Conga. But basically, the story I heard was that the writers worked with another writer at some point, or one of them did, that had a very suspect lemon allergy that was then proven to not be a lemon allergy. And they were just, they, I don't know, was apparently just a pain in the butt. They were just basically just trying to, they had decided they had a lemon allergy rather than actually having a lemon allergy. the idea. So they sort of like that and went with that. My mom is convinced he was murdered. I think he was. Wasn't he killed by he fell on his head on some ice, an accident apparently. Oh, it was. Okay. Pizza's kryptonite. It's true. I love pizza. Like, I mean, the fact that probably for a year I didn't have pizza makes me sad on the inside. It's true. All right, I better get out of here. Bread's yummy, but I definitely do not like it as much as David. It's true. I do like my bread. And croissants, and rolls, dinner rolls. Ooh, squishy dinner rolls. Ooh, fantastic. And French fries. That's the other thing. Fried food. If I just didn't eat fried food, that would probably help a lot. Although I don't eat a lot. I guess it's just the fries. I do like my fries. A year without pizza. I know it's like a year without sun. All right, I better get out of here. I'm going to. We're probably going to see you again because I'm hoping to talk to blah 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 blah. I'm hoping if I can speak still by that point of the day. My hope is to talk to Lance Gimpy G Carr today for another Damn Dirty Abe. So you better go check that out. What are your thoughts on the events of last week? More specifically, the surprise resignation. What was the surprise resignation? What was the? Who are we talking about? The lovely Lance, indeed. No fish and chips. Oh my God, I can forget it. Like I said, I'm working on the exercise. I'm not working on the food right now. Now I'm hungry for all of it. MTG, Magic the Gathering. Oh man, I miss my Magic the Gathering. I feel like Magic the Gathering. What? Thomas Blank. What? What happened? Not Magic. I'm looking at the chat now. MGT. Oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yeah. It's weird that she actually sounded more reasonable. She was. I just like. What do you? What is this? What is the thing? Where I can't remember what there's some old saying where there's like I'm making this up, but basically the premise is like a farmer finds a snake and it's wounded and he brings it back to health and he feeds it and looks after it, and then it bites him and he's like, "Why'd you bite me?" He goes, "'Cause I'm a snake." You know what I mean? Like if you like when the world's most famously revolting Epstein guy and his disgusting island of disgustingness says that you are the worst person that he knows, that there's not a good cell in your body, partnering up with them is probably going to come and bite you like a snake in the ass. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I don't know what you expect, and I think maybe she really was a supporter and maybe she really is surprised to find that that's the case, but it probably shouldn't be, given you look at a track record of people, and if they're constantly screwing people over, then, you sort of know what you're getting into, right? I mean, I've had agents in the past, I don't now get represented by them, but I've had agents in the past who I didn't like them. They represent me because they were good at getting things out of people, and they were good at being the mean person in the discussion. But the reality is eventually, that's going to come around on you too, right? So I've had numerous fights with people about that kind of stuff. I mean, I think you just got to know. You just got to know going into that you're going to be. He's going to turn on you. He turns on everyone. Although I did see that Little Muskie was back getting a nod from him. I guess because when you're the richest man in the world, Trump's not gonna. Well, it's hard to diss the richest man in the world, I suppose, entirely. Leopards. Was it a leopard? That's possible. I want to clip this video. I want to clip this video so bad. You got me grinning ear to ear. Ah, Jacander painting. Thank you so much. Clip away, whatever. I don't even know what that means. It is a weird feeling to agree with such a horrible guy as that man. I don't like him. He turns on everyone except McDonald's. Hey, look, I'm not going to argue with him. I like McDonald's. I will agree with Trump on that. I like McDonald's. Although filet-o-fish, what idiot drink? Who eats filet-o-fish? I mean, or even the McNuggets. I don't go for any of that. I go for the freaking burgers, and they're disgusting and horrible burgers. But man, with comfort food, like if you're just having a really crappy day. You just and you're tired, or you're like either used to be when I was hungover. Now it's like if you're jet lagged or something, just oh man, a couple Big Macs, you're like, oh, that's the best, and then you feel like crap. But that moment of eating it, oh, delicious. I'm off to have a cup of tea. Have a good day from Scotland. Oh, thank you so much, Bexy. You enjoy Scotland. I got to get to Scotland. Hello, fellow fan in Scotland. Oh, look at it. I love it. See, there you go. The connections. This is like a social circle. That's what this is. This is so much fun. Thank you. I truly don't understand why you enjoy this, but boy, do I. I really like it. It's a great little reward for my pathetic attempts at exercise. All right, everyone else who's trying to do this, good luck to you. All the best. McKay cares. He doesn't care. McKay doesn't care at all. If McKay comes back, he's gonna be fat. That's what I say. Go check out techbandits.org. Thank you to everyone who in the last little while has gone and purchased a hat or a t-shirt or a mug. A lot of mugs have gone. Thank you for that. That all helps. I've got my own little sort of McKay inspired, Stargate inspired stuff because I couldn't find any good McKay stuff. So there's a shop over there on techbandits.org that you can go and help me out by picking up some of those. Maybe get a few Christmas presents or something. And then of course, if you want to just be just an out and out great person and want to do the Patreon, then do that as well because that's fantastic. I gotta get some money, go back to the Netherlands and talk to some fantastic more ESEP folks. That's the plan. I just signed off for another convention in the summer next year, which I'm looking forward to, and I'm sure they'll want to announce that themselves. But yeah, so that's coming up as well. And and yes, and some more boys spin-off stuff to do. Spin-off, is that the right term? It's a whole other show. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, I guess it's a spin-off, I suppose. I got some filming next week, which I'm really looking forward to as well. Doesn't have fish and cheese together. I don't think I could do that. Yeah, I'm not usually a big fish and cheese fan. I can't think of ever really tuna noodle bake. Yeah, my mom used to make like a tuna thing with some cheese on top and some noodles and things. That was good. But yeah, the t-shirts are fantastic. Oh, thank you, David Sam. Very good. I should get people to send me, you know what? David I. Hewlett at gmail.com. Send me photos of people with the merch. That would be great. That'd be fantastic. And I can post them as well. That'd be kind of fun. Have I auditioned for any good parts recently? Not really. Have I? Oh, I auditioned for a really fun one the other day. Wasn't right for it, but I really enjoyed the audition. It was kind of a fun, sort of creepy, geeky guy looking into the background of a bunch of people, and I really want Mistletoe Murders to come back. I'm glad Stargate's coming back, and hopefully I can be in that. That'd be fantastic. But Mistletoe Murders, I'm so enjoying Mistletoe Murders, and people keep telling me about how they've seen it on various different things. I just really want Famous Ray to come back. I like that guy. He's a lot of fun to play, and I just think Ken Coopers has done such a great job with that show. It's just a really fun, silly, Christmassy murder movie series. Well, it's basically murder movies. They're like little, like 2 episodes equals like 1 little movie type thing instead of Murder, She Wrote. It's really fun. Not usually very good at promoting my own stuff, but I got to say the Mistletoe Murders is just so much fun. I really wanted to go again. My mom likes it, which is good. So. Davis, longest goodbye that I timed was 43 minutes. How are we doing on that? I am William Arens. I can't say what I'm doing, but I'm doing Vought Rising, I guess they call it. I'll go watch it now. I'm in the know, indeed. Great to see you. Yes, good to see you all. Thank you so much. It won't be CG, won't be SG, Stargate. It won't be Stargate without a McKay appearance. I agree. Let's just spread that around a lot. Murder, She Wrote is a throwback. Yeah, I know, but this is like Murder, She Wrote. It's like Murder, She Wrote, but with sort of like the Hallmark Christmas. It's like nothing else. It's like nothing else on the Hallmark Channel. And I freaking love Kevin. I love Ken Ken and Michelle for putting it together. They're just the loveliest couple, and he's a smart guy. Another Stargate guy. He wrote some of those some very good episodes for us on Stargate as well. So you are only at about 18 minutes right now from the first time you said it. Okay, so I said I was going to go. Oh my God, I'd love to do FedCon. Somebody put me in touch with FedCon again, because it's been ages. I was supposed to do it during the pandemic. Couldn't do it during the pandemic, obviously, partially because I'm a complete hypochondriac. And then I never. I've yet to go back. I'd love to go back to FedCon. I would love that. All right, stop being nice to me, because now I'm just okay. Forget it. I'm not looking at you anymore. I will say until we geek again, which will be probably around 2:33 this afternoon for some Damn Dirty Abes on YouTube. Until then, I will say be brave, be kind, be brilliant, cheerio, and huzzah. And I shall leave you with a sip of coffee. Bye, everyone. Thanks very much. Thank you. Seriously, thank you for all the chats and the questions and just putting up with this great sweaty beast. It's good. It's fun.